Chapter 338. As she thought about it, she hurriedly introduced Harold father as she said, "This is my eldest son, Harold father." Sean nodded slightly at Harold father, but he did not seem interested in him at all. Then, Lady Richard introduced Harold to him. "Chairman Richard, this is my grandson, Harold." Harold greeted him in a hurry. "Hello, Chairman Richard. Please take good care of me in the future." Sean simply nodded and kept his eyes on Olivia even though Lady Richard had not introduced her to him at all. At last, Lady Richard smiled as she introduced Olivia to Sean. "Chairman Richard, this is my granddaughter, Olivia." At this, Sean heaved a huge sigh of relief. This was his first time visiting the Richard family, and he was initially worried that Olivia would turn out to be Harold's wife. If that was the case, he would not have a chance to proceed with his plan at all. However, when he heard that she was also a member of the Richard family, Sean suddenly felt a fire burning in his heart. Even though Olivia was not the most beautiful person in the world, she was still a beauty. Otherwise, Daniel from the White family would not have been interested in her in the first place. It was truly a pity that Olivia had always lived in the shadow of Emma, who was one of the top beauties in the Richard family and also in Orris Hill. Therefore, Olivia had had no opportunity to stand out at all. However, now that Emma was not around and since Olivia's eyes and nose were red because she had been crying, this really ignited the desire for a man to protect and care for her. When Lady Richard saw that Sean was interested in Olivia, she hurriedly said, "Chairman Richard, Olivia is already 24 years old this year and is still single. If you know of any suitable young men, please introduce him to Olivia." In truth, Lady Richard was not hoping for Sean to introduce someone to Olivia. She was simply trying to tell Sean that her granddaughter was still single, and he still had a chance to try and get her if he wanted to. Sean was especially tempted by this. He was already getting older, and his wife was also aging. He had already lost interest in his wife ever since a long time ago. Moreover, since he had come to Orris Hill on his own, his wife was not with him, and this was his opportunity to fool around if he wanted to. If he could take advantage of this opportunity to have some fun with Olivia, that would unmistakably be the best thing that could happen to him. As he thought about this, Sean took the initiative to stretch out his hand to Olivia before he smiled and said, "Miss Olivia, you are so beautiful. So how is it possible that you do not have a boyfriend?" It would have been better if he had not said this. As soon as he said this sentence, Olivia's eyes turned red once more, and tears started flowing down her cheeks. She was feeling very upset and uncomfortable. The Richard family was in trouble, and she was going to lose everything that she ever wanted. Daniel treated her like a plague god and was avoiding her at all costs. He was not only refusing to marry her, but he would not even look at her or meet up with her when she asked him to. She felt so miserable, but it seemed as though her cousin, Emma, was having the time of her life. There were so many wealthy and powerful people who had attended her opening ceremony. So, how could she possibly be compared to her? How could she not feel angry at all? She felt very annoyed and desperate at this time. When Sean saw that Olivia was crying again, he suddenly felt very distressed. He hurriedly asked, "Oh, why are you crying, Miss Olivia? Why are you crying?" Lady Richard quickly replied, "Didn't I tell you that our family is facing a huge crisis now? Olivia has a very deep affection for the family company and she feels very upset because it seems like the Richard Group is going to go bankrupt. She has been begging me to find a way to save the company for the past 2 days, but I am just an old lady, so what could I possibly do to save the company? There is nothing that I can do, and I can only watch in distress as my precious granddaughter cries because she is so upset." Sean did not even think about it and he said to Olivia, "Miss Olivia, if you need help, please do not hesitate to approach me. I am quite capable, so why don't you let me help you instead?"